Abuso, eu acho que você tá querendo aqui quando eu minha mãe querendo kumar, amigo trap nos. Gash, minan mishunsak, ok misak, minan getsim nanik, mampi, ibixketoing, we mounted young nungumanda, we the bajmang manda, eshwebak, mampi get kamik. We thank, I'm a little white buffalo woman, Bear and the Loon are my teachers. I am following my parents and my grandparents' way of life, and they've instructed me to, and I honoring them this way. I ask all creation, all Creator, to walk with us in the way that we are looking at what we have to do in our land and amongst our people, with the love that we have for all creations that provides for us, and also the elders that release, the old ones that help us release what it is that is not ours, and we can continue walking in a good way. So for each direction, we have the waters. There's the ocean waters, the rain waters, the river waters, and also the birthing waters that we have to live with. And this is what creation has given us, and how we come to be in this world. So we thank all our creation, which is our clans, our 7 clans, and all the 4 directions that we have and that we look to in our lives of walking in this path on earth. Now, to me, thank you very much.
I knew this was going to happen. I'm short, right? I don't know if that can move down, but Quay, greetings. I'm Joanna Bernard, the Interim National Chief for the AFN and the AFN Regional Chief for New Brunswick. It's a privilege to be here today. I would like to start off by thanking Nukmus Roberta for the prayer and the opening this session in a good way. I want to also acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin people. It's an honor to join this stage with Regional Chief Picard and Nukmus Roberta to introduce the AFN National Climate Strategy. This past summer has been the worst fire season in Canada on record. Over 15 million hectares have burned, affecting First Nations from coast to coast to coast. This is only the beginning. Projections indicate that Canada's temperature is expected to warm at double the global average rate and triple in the north. This means that more extreme weather, including fires, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, species migration, coastal sea level rise, among other challenges. In the face of this reality and observations from knowledge keepers, First Nations have taken matters into their own hands. In 2019, First Nations in Assembly acknowledged the urgency by declaring a First Nations climate emergency. Central to this declaration it was recognized that climate change constitutes a state of emergency on our lands, waters, animals, and peoples. This declaration was reaffirmed this past July as the First Nations in Assembly endorsed the AFN National Climate Strategy, calling for urgency and transformative climate action. The strategy was led by the Advisory Committee on Climate Action and the Environment, with the support of First Nations across Canada. Over 1,000 First Nation experts leaders, youth, men and women, to us LGBTQIAA plus individuals, knowledge keepers, professionals, and allies from coast to coast to coast have participated in this process. With this, I would like to invite Regional Chief Picard to walk you through the National Climate Strategy. Waliwan, Walalan, merci, thank you.
Thank you very much, International Chief Bernard, and miigwech to Nokomis Joanna Roberta for the opening prayer. I too would like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people. It is my honor today to walk you through the AFN climate strategy, Yukon, on the territory of the Takwechin and Kwanlin Dun in March 2020, and the second hosted in Fredericton, New Brunswick in September 2022 on the traditional unceded territory of the Wet'suwet'en, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples. Multiple series of regional and national webinars, including technical webinars, as well as 2 national surveys during the pandemic. Ongoing discussions with the Advisory Committee on Climate Action and the Environment, a group of First Nation leadership and technicians from across the country. The climate strategy, however, is not the end of our journey. Elle marque le début d'une conversation qui donne la priorité aux solutions des Premières Nations à la crise climatique en s'appuyant sur nos droits, notre autodétermination et nos systèmes de connaissances. Cette conversation s'appuie sur la Déclaration des aînés sur l'action climatique et l'environnement, rédigée par plus d'une centaine de gardiens du savoir à Fort St. John, BC, en 2016. La Déclaration des aînés était claire. Les peuples des Premières Nations sont dans une position unique pour être des chefs de file dans des initiatives de lutte contre le changement climatique en raison de leur connaissance des enseignements sacrés de la Terre. La Déclaration des aînés poursuit en ces termes. Notre mère, la Terre, traverse une crise climatique sans précédent. Nous insistons donc pour que cesse immédiatement la destruction et la profanation des éléments sacrés de la vie en vertu de l'obligation humaine de prendre soin de la Terre et des générations futures. Ces déclarations jettent les bases de la stratégie sur le climat qui appelle à une action climatique urgente et transformatrice. La stratégie sur le climat s'appuie sur l'optique du changement climatique des Premières Nations, un outil qui préconise une transition de l'importance excessive accordée aux solutions technologiques et aux mécanismes de marché vers un cadre qui met l'accent sur la centralité des droits, de l'autodétermination et des systèmes de connaissance des Premières Nations. L'optique du changement climatique que vous voyez à mon extrême droite ici contient 4 cercles concentriques, le droit naturel, les visions du monde, la réalité vécue et le contexte qui mettent l'accent sur les solutions climatiques des Premières Nations. The climate lens that you see to my far right here contains 4 concentric circles, natural law, world views, lived reality, and context that bring into focus First Nation climate solutions. These solutions call for systemic change, revitalization of our value system that is grounded in deep reciprocal relationship with the land and water. The climate strategy introduces 7 priority areas that help do this, and I put the banner again, including First Nations knowledge systems, health, languages, cultures, and spiritualities. First Nations' inherent jurisdiction and right to self-determination, address capacity needs, First Nations self-sufficiency in food, water, and energy, close the natural and build infrastructure gap. First Nations are equipped to mitigate, prevent, respond, and recover from all emergencies. Leverage the climate lens to reform legislation, regulation, policy, and programs. Each priority area coincides with a goal, a series of objectives, and a list of strategies and actions. In total, 108 strategies and actions are proposed and complemented with a proposal for implementation partners. These are not a comprehensive review of all First Nation priorities related to climate change, but rather an enabling document to create space for First Nations at the local and regional levels. The climate strategy is clear. Federal, provincial, and territorial governments must work directly and in full partnership with First Nations rights and title holders to implement self-determined First Nation climate priorities. This includes providing sufficient and sustainable funding to each First Nation. The time for implementation is now. We urge our partners from government, business, and academia to walk alongside First Nations as we implement climate strategies in their lands, waters, and territories. Our grand and great-grandchildren depend on us taking action today. Thank you.